Hello.
How are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
Saw you on the billboard coming down here.
I saw you the other day.
Was it our whole office or just me?
Just you.
It was just you.
It's the one near Applebee's.
I have no idea.
I said, I know that lady.
What you need to say is, I'd list my house with her. That's the right
Yeah,
answer.
that's right.
That's what I'm going for. I don't feel like these are as much like the red ones. I feel like are kind of pajamas.
Yeah.
This one's huge on me. I think I put my phone on vibrate.
Good evening, and welcome to the December 16th Board of Mayor and Alderman Business Meeting. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we'll stand and be led with the pledge by John Morris, followed by invocation by Pastor James Damesworth from Christian Life Center.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we bow our heads, please? Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our community. We thank you, Lord, for the workers of our community. God, we're asking you right now to be a part of our business tonight. Everything that is discussed, Lord, that we will look into it and do it with a heart, Lord, that says we want your will to be done. I'm praying for every alderman and our mayor tonight that they will lead us into the places you desire for us to go. We ask all of these things in your precious name, the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Damesworth, and thank you, John Morris. Mr. Recorder, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker,
Here.
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
Here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 board members are present. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we move into recognitions and presentations. We have one on the agenda tonight, and that's to recognize all of the folks who have been involved in Christmas in Kingsport. As Alderman Cooper and Alderman Phillips are making their way to the podium, I also ask all of those that are here tonight that are going to be recognized, if you would please join them up here at the podium, please.
This is my favorite time of the year. I said I spend all year talking about Christmas in Kingsport. From January until November, we do all the pre-planning, and then all that starts happening. You said you're recognizing the people that help. This is just a fraction of the people that actually work every day making sure that our Christmas in Kingsport stays lit and bright and cheerful. The first person I want to introduce and talk just a second about is the Sutterths, Brad and Melissa. They came from Avery County, and they're the people that deliver our trees for the last 3 years. If I can back up and give a small 2-minute introduction of what Christmas in Kingsport, how it got started. Back in 2022, James and I both went to Chris McCart and said, we want to do something in downtown Kingsport. And so we both had an idea separately, but we came together that year. And that was our first Christmas in Kingsport. And we went to a box store to try to get the trees, and we didn't have the right stands, and the trees blew over daily. So we've come a long way since the first year. Then in 23, my husband had talked to Brad. He's from, like I said, Newland, North Carolina, and got his phone number. And in my phone, I had it as Brad Christmas Tree Man. I didn't know his last name. So he brought the trees to us in 23. And delivered them here. It was, great. And then 24, when the hurricane hit Avery County especially hard, I, out of the blue, just text Brad and said, I'm praying for you, your community. If I can do anything to help, please let me know. This is what you tell everyone, if I can help you. He immediately called me back and said, are you serious? Do you want to help? And we did. And so we've talked probably that September, October, November, that 4 months, we probably talked weekly, and he would give me updates of what they needed up in Avery County. So he's been our conduit we took over 20 trips up there taking supplies, everything from aluminum foil to food to blankets to tents to, but we had people from 5 different states sending stuff to our house, and we hooked up with Brad at his church, and listen, we became fast friends. We went up for his daughter's help celebrate her graduation. We've been to their church, so they've become just more than just a Christmas tree man. He's still in my phone though. Is Brad the Christmas tree man? But we appreciate all he does. He delivered trees again this year, so this is our 3rd year that he's delivered trees to us. We expect it to continue on. As long as he can grow the trees up there, we'll take him. But thank you, Brad, and listen, you are on the King Sports official nice list. And I appreciate them driving down. They drove an hour and a half from Newell, North Carolina today to be here. So next year, if you need a Christmas tree, just let me know, and we'll get Brad to deliver your tree, your personal tree here. Okay, like I said, there's a lot of people. DKA, the Downtown Kingsport Association, has been instrumental in helping sell the trees and doing helping with activities in downtown. So I really appreciate Robin and Lindsay for all their work to help make Christmas in Kingsport. So you are officially on the nice list also. Thank you. I'm going to recognize this person. It's for cultural arts, and I feel nothing we could say about her is adequate because Christy Leonard is she keeps us all going. She's the one that calls all the meetings and keeps all of us going. I text Christy nightly, I guess, and say, the big bulb at Centennial Park is not on. Yeah. And the other day I was texting her, my husband said, she's going to see your number come up and block you, But she's very gracious, and she is the one that like I said, keeps the Christmas in Kingsport committee going. We meet and keeps everything kind of happening. So Christy and Cultural Arts, you are also on the nice list. Yay! And the last group that I want to recognize is the landscaping and ground maintenance. Just putting the trees out and stringing the lights, the garland, they help so much. And it's not just they just don't put the trees up and leave. They're out there every day, maintaining, and when cords are cut, they fix all that. So they're maintaining what we have throughout the whole Christmas season. So and ground maintenance, you are on the nice list also. Thank you so much. So I'm going to turn it over to James now.
Okay. All right, we've got about 30 minutes left. So I also want to recognize some people, and I guess I want to start out. I have a little story just like Betsy had. But when we started this, like Betsy said, we went and got ornaments from, or decorations from wherever we could find them. I think we donated some, and, we got the trees from a box store, like she was saying. But in the second year, it was such a great, the reception for it was incredible. And so we went and we talked to Chris and Rebecca at Mycroft Signs, and we just said, we have the trees, but we're thinking about doing something bigger. What do you think? And so that was the first meeting. The second meeting, Chris walked into the meeting and said, here's what we're doing. And it is the ball that you see at Centennial Park. And they, at Mycroft, donated that ball. The second year that we met with Chris, he walked in and said, this is what we're doing this year. And that is the package that we have here at Glen Bruce Park. Again, donated. I cannot tell you how expensive these things would be if we had to pay for them. And so this year, we Mycroft did just an outstanding job. I've seen so many people taking pictures of the new sign that's on Broad and Center Street, the one that says Kingsport up above. In case you haven't seen it, it's very brightly lit. So I want to recognize Chris and Rebecca Thomas for all they've done at Mycroft Signs, but we have more people at Mycroft to recognize. So thank you all for your donations. And then I also have here, I want to single out Tim. Now, Tim Snap works for Mycroft Signs. He's Becky's dad, and Tim has built all these big decorations that you see. And every week this year, leading up to this sign downtown, the new one, I was getting a text message from Tim that said, have you got time to come by? Can you come by and see this? Tim was so excited about it, and he was sending me pictures step by step of how he was building it. And then he was supposed to go down to Miami, or did go to Miami last week. They had some work to do down there. And so he called me on Friday, and I went down and met with Tim, and it was so important to him that he get that sign ready before he left. I walked in and I said, well, when are you thinking about getting this up? You know, when you get back? And he said, I need 2 hours. And so literally I helped screw in bulbs, so I did contribute. But in 2 hours we had it. Well, that was 2 hours Tim's time. It was actually about 4 hours later, but we had it out there and up, and not so much as Zach had put the final screw in the ground. People were pulling in and parking and getting out of their cars to take pictures with it. So it was really good. So Tim, we appreciate you building all these. All right, now we've got Sarah with the communications department, but also want to recognize Matthew and Adrian for all the hard work they do. So this team handles the Christmas web pages. They help plan and promote all the city managed Christmas events. They do the photography at the events, and they manage all the social media for everything for the city. And you can tell there's a lot of engagement. They do a great job. I always just refer right back to it. Last Saturday when we were going to see Santa and the Grinch at the park, I just pulled up the This Is Kingsport Facebook page, and there was all the information I needed. So that is extremely helpful. Now I've been given a fun fact. Out of the 20 posts done so far for the Christmas season, each of the top 4 posts have had an average of over 40,000 views and more than 400 reactions. So I think that just goes to tell you what a great job they do, but also what a popular event this is. So, Sarah, here is yours for Communications Department. All right, and lastly, but definitely not least, we've got the Public Works Department. And so, like our traffic department, when you come downtown the other week, the road was blocked. They were out there working on Christmas lights, which was totally justifiable to block the road for. And these guys put in a ton of work, and they really create a winter wonderland downtown. They hang all the decorations that you see on the light poles as you go through downtown. They take care of the big, heavy decorations that are up and down Broad Street and on some of the ones that are on Market. Power needs, I cannot tell you how much power it takes. They do such a great job. So we really appreciate their staff. And Michael, we're giving this to Michael Thompson, but please let the rest of your staff know how much we appreciate them. Oh, yes, that's right. The Public Works tree was voted best tree overall, and I voted for my own because my daughter helped me, but if I could have voted for somebody else's, it would have been yours, okay? So it was very good. They did a great job. Anything else? Anything else? We good? All right, thank you all so much for making this a successful event.
See you later. Thank you for making Kingsport very merry.
Yes.
This is part of our meeting that we call for public comment. So if you would like to address us, this is your time to come to the podium. We ask that when you do that, to sign the docket there with your name and address. And your comments are limited to 5 minutes. And we always ask it to be non-personal in nature. We also say that we are available anytime to speak to you for the meeting, after the meeting. But this is not the time we'll have conversation during this, your time. This is your time.
My name is Tim Sanders. I live at 1213 Bloomdale Pike. First off and foremost, I want to tell all y'all I have lots of Christian love for you as we're coming to the end of the calendar year. We're into the holiday, of course. I want to wish every one of you a very public Merry Christmas. As an experienced orator, 5 minutes can be spoken on many issues. One of the reasons I want to have a little discussion about this 5-minute rule is a few years back, there was an illegal healthcare monopoly formed by circumventing the antitrust laws. And during this formation, Ballard decided they was going to move the Children's Hospital from Holston Valley to Johnson City Medical Center. A social media activist decided that she was going to stand against that, and she started coming to each of the meetings and would start discussing viewpoints. And at the time, we had a mayor that was interesting, to say the least. Wasn't you, by the way. And they decided that it wasn't good to have controversy. So started limiting comments. And if you limited the comments to 10 minutes, she would get more people to come, and each person would take 10 minutes. The one that got me was I attended a meeting last night that was a public meeting, and I was told that the public ain't allowed to comment. Unless, it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, and I'm wrong about a lot of things. If it's not a closed committee meeting nor a meeting to discuss employee personnel issues, then it has to be a open public meeting because there's more than one of you elected officials there. And Tennessee has some rules against having closed meetings with more than one elected official. And I want to also let each one of you know, sometimes you do have to ask a question because sometimes the citizens do not understand the full intent of a point that they're trying to make, and clarification is fine. So each one of you is an equally elected representative. So if one of you wanted to ask a question, you could ask a question. It's no more than the president can't tell a congressman what to do, congressman can't tell a senator what to do. They're all equally elected representatives. Now, you can choose to have some decisions, but if a question was to come up, then I would encourage you to ask the citizen and get them involved. That's the whole that's the whole meaning of this conversation. We have very few citizens that come down, and I've had people tell me, you can't talk to them. Sure you can. You know, they're afraid to talk. Well, 5 minutes becomes somewhat of an issue if you've got a fear of public speaking. But you want to be more welcoming, and sometimes you just have to ask, hey, you know, this is what that meant. Most of the stuff on the agenda is just daily business. You know, nobody's going to say a whole lot, but every once in a while there is a big issue. We'll go with the illegal ballot healthcare monopoly, and that drew a lot of crowds. And the government at that time started trying to restrict the comments by the citizens. And I hope this is not a continuation of that. You know, 5 minutes can be a lot of time. 5 minutes can be a short time. But every once in a while, you might want to ask a question, or they might need to be a little bit of an exchange. That could happen at a work session or public meeting. And James, nothing personal, and I'm not pointing out anything. Your dad used to let everybody, you know, they conversate. Sometimes he'd ask. And sometimes they get a little bit carried away. But just every once in a while, just keep in mind that if we want the public to come, or if you want the public to come, then say, hey, you know, sometimes we might have to say something. And I see the time man over there is holding up the sign. So the last thing I will ask is, Mr. Mayor, I'm still waiting on my call from the Meadowview Task Force. So I hope that's still available. You all have a very Merry Christmas, a good New Year, and we'll see you coming up.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Anyone else want to speak for us tonight? And anyone else moving? City Manager.
All right, we'll move on to appointments. First appointment is consideration of an appointment to the municipal judge for the city of Kingsport. It's recommended to reappoint Judge Russell Atkins. Mayor, we'd ask that you approve this appointment, please.
You have before us tonight the appointment of Judge Atkins to be the municipal judge. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the appointment of Judge Atkins, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. He's appointed 7-0. City Manager.
All right, next appointment is consideration of an appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals. It's recommended to appoint Laura Barnett to the Board of Zoning Appeals to fulfill an unexpired term due to a resignation. Mayor would ask that you approve the appointment.
Thank you. You have before us tonight Ms. Laura Barnett for the Board of Zoning Appeals. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker and second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion?
I'd just like to make a comment, Mayor, if I may, that I appreciate Tracy Cleek serving on the board and her service to the city, and very grateful for everything she's done, and wish her and her family and Scott the very best.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion? Okay, all in favor of the appointment of Laura Barnett, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Laura Barnett's appointed, 7-0. City Manager.
All right, we now move into the approval of minutes. First is the work session on December 1st, 2025, and then the business meeting on December 2nd, 2025. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
Thank you. You have before us tonight the minutes of December 1st and December 2nd. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any questions? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Minutes are approved, 7-0. City Manager.
All right, we have one public hearing on the agenda tonight, and that is to hold a public hearing and conduct the annual plan of services update for the Fieldcrest and Cherry Knoll annexations. Ken Weems, our planning manager, will walk us through the presentation. Ken?
Thank you so much. So tonight for their annual updates is both the Cherry Knoll and the Fieldcrest annexations that you can see here on our map. For the Fieldcrest annexation, water is now provided, and so the sole remaining service due to that annexation site is sanitary sewer, and that's under construction now. So hopefully by this time next year, it'll fall off this plan of services. For Cherry Knoll, we still have the water, sewer, and street lights when development occurs. Staff does recommend holding a public hearing. I'd be happy to answer any other questions that the board might have as well.
I'll open the public hearing. Anyone want to speak on behalf of the plan of services? Seeing no one come forth, Mr. Attorney, please publish.
Mr. Mayor, there's no other action on the item other than the update and the public hearing.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval?
You don't need to vote.
Nothing to
Okay, no vote. Okay, no action taken.
Yep.
Okay.
Just public hearing.
City Manager.
All right, we'll move into the next item here, and that is a budget adjustment. It's consideration of budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '26. The first item you see here is movement of dollars between community development and police fund, moving dollars around from our paving fund to provide matching dollars for MPO funded paving, which is an item that we'll talk about later in the agenda. And then a series of actions involving utilities and moving border region money, as well as recently secured a capital outlay note for capital projects. The border region is a zone within the city near Interstates 81 and 26. These are dollars coming back in to replenish expenditures that have been made by utilities within those areas. With that, we'd ask that you approve the budget ordinance. First reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
In order to amend the various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the budget ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor of the budget ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The budget ordinance is approved, 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal '26 general purpose school fund budget and the general project fund budget. This comes to us from the Board of Education, setting aside dollars for two projects, architectural services for the new elementary school, and then also for the replacement of the fire alarm system at Robinson. Again, this comes to us from the Board of Education, asking for our approval. We'd ask that you approve this budget amendment.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
In order to amend the general purpose school fund budget and the general projects fund budget for the year ending June 30, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan and second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ordinance passes 7-0. City Manager.
All right, you have one item on the agenda for final adoption. This is consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 32, a portion of parcel 112.20, located along East Stone Drive from the A1 Agricultural District to B3 Highway-Oriented Business District. Again, this comes to you on second reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance amending the zoning.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
In order to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along East Stone Drive from the A1 Agricultural District to B3 Highway-Oriented Business District and the 10th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance is approved, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, now moving into other business. The first item is consideration of a resolution authorizing Kingsport City Schools to change phone providers to United Data Technologies and authorizing the mayor to sign all necessary documents. This is an item that comes to us from the Board of Education. It is an item that they are purchasing through TIPS USA, which is a national cooperative purchasing program. Once the investment is made, this will save them about $12,000 a year. We'd ask that you move forward with approval of the resolution allowing them to enter into this agreement for these improvements. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing Kingsport City Schools to change the phone service provider to United Data Technologies Incorporated and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement for the same and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution for amendment number 1 with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for Northeastman Road and Clintfield Street project, PIN number 132587, and authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents. As you all know, over the last several years, we have been able to use MPO funds, capital funds that are passed through Federal Highway onto TDOT to do resurfacing within our city. One of the things that we try to do is to stage these so that as you all are approving them, we're also moving forward and getting the necessary things done, whether that's through approval or actual work in the field. One of the efficiencies that the staff identified was an opportunity for savings to the MPO funds totaling $440,000 if we would amend the project so that the city personnel could self-perform the sidewalk and ADA work. All of this is required prior to paving. Of course, you see us doing that throughout the city, especially ahead of upcoming paving projects. I appreciate the staff for identifying this, saving dollars on the federal side, allowing those dollars then to be reallocated for other projects within the city, and then be able to get out ahead of this and do this work prior to the paving. Your amendment of this, or your approval of this action form will allow for the amendment. With that, we'd ask for your approval, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving Amendment 1 to the agreement with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the North Eastman Road and Clinchfield Street Road resurfacing project, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution requesting a private act from the Tennessee General Assembly amending various sections of the city charter. As we have discussed with the change of odd year May elections to even year August elections for our municipal elections, there's a need to align our charter, primarily as it relates to the election, but also the election of the vice mayor. In addition to that, there are additional adjustments that we have asked to make, really more clarification than anything. That is pertaining to the due date of our property taxes prior to when penalties would go into place, and then also restructuring the portion of the budget publication to align with state law requirements for publication. We saw that both of those, in addition to the items for the election, being prudent to move forward with adjusting. Next step, upon your all's approval, this will go to our representatives with Representative Halsey and Senator Harshbarger. They will take that and have that approved, and then it'll come back to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for a final approval before it goes into place within our charter. With that, we ask you approve the resolution, taking the first step in the amendment of our charter.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution requesting the General Assembly to pass a private act pertaining to the charter of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee that will amend Article 3, Section 11 regarding the selection of the vice mayor, Article 11, Section 5 regarding delinquent taxes, Article 19, Section 2 regarding selection of the President of the Board of Education, and Article 15, Section 2 regarding adoption of the appropriation ordinances, authorizing the city manager to send this resolution to members of the General Assembly and to affix the effective date of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to enter into an agreement for the lease and transfer of properties in the Academic Village with the Tennessee Board of Regents. Going all the way back to 1999 and early 2000, the City of Kingsport has made significant investments within the Academic Village, beginning with Blazer Wilson Hall. Later, that would translate into the Regional Center for Health Professions and then move on down to the Kingsport Center for Higher Education. In addition to that, the state has also made investments, as well as Northeast State, within the Academic Village, specifically RCAM is one that comes to mind. One of the things that we've been in conversation with Northeast State over the last few years as we prepare for the renewal of these leases is to also begin looking at the transfer of the maintenance responsibilities for the properties, as well as eventually transferring the properties over to the state as long as they are used for higher education purposes. Northeast State, along with the Tennessee Board of Regents, has agreed to do this. In many ways, I look upon this as something that we have incubated, and now it is time to turn over to them to let them manage it. There's obviously cost savings for us as we look down the road for both of these properties, or for all of these properties, I should say. In addition to buildings, we're also looking at a transfer of parking lots, with the understanding, though, that those parking lots would still have availability for public use, specifically evenings and weekends, which is when we see folks coming into our downtown. Appreciate the fact that Northeast State has been willing to work with us on this. I appreciate the fact that they're willing to take this on. They view downtown Kingsport as a satellite campus, and I think it's important for us to know that they intend to continue making investments. You've already taken action to begin the process of transferring former Federal Transit Administration-owned property with Blazer Wilson and the old transit garage over to them. So we're excited to see what they will do as they bring unique programs to the city of Kingsport. Last night, Alderman Baker, you asked kind of what our annual expenses are. Around $50,000 a year is what we're putting into these buildings. Keep in mind, additional maintenance costs and are already part of the agreement that have been burdened by Northeast State, but on average, we're looking at about $50,000 a year. With that, Mayor, I'd ask that you approve the resolution executing these leases and beginning the process of transferring these properties.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving the Tennessee Board of Regents for its Northeast State Community College continued lease and ultimately its acquisition of Blazer Wilson Hall, the Regional Center for Health Professions, the Kingsport Center for Higher Education, and surrounding properties, authorizing the city manager to negotiate such terms as deemed in the best interest of the city relative to the conveyance of said properties, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
I'll say thanks to Chris for checking on the dollar figure of what we're spending annually. Also, thanks to Northeast State for carrying this to TBR. I'll also mention, a lot of people think that higher education is going online and in classroom is going to be a thing of the past. Shortly, I don't think that's the case. I think there's more and more cities that are doing what we did in the mid-2000s, late 2000s. I think that they're doing that for workforce development purposes, recognizing they're investing for the next 25 years. They're investing with their citizens to receive an academic degree to make the workforce be more marketable. I'll say that. So I think it's great, though, that partnership we've got with Northeast State to be able to look at this as an investment for them, and totally supportive of this.
Thank you. Other comments?
Just question, I assume that when we transfer this over to the academic buildings, there are no property taxes assessed on?
Correct.
Okay, because it's higher education.
Right. State property.
State property still.
And you also, I think you mentioned last night or sometime that if it ever reverts back to us, if it ever ceases to be higher ed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, am I right, Northeast State and ETSU are the two higher education institutions downtown right now?
That is accurate, and so just to add a little bit more to that, what you have offered by Northeast State is primarily medical.
Yeah.
Very unique medical that is not offered anywhere else in any of their campuses or on main campus, if you will. And then you also still have some gen ed that's being offered, but then ETSU has their Bachelor of Science in Nursing that is offered here. And of course, going back to Northeast State, a lot of the advanced manufacturing, which is very specific to Kingsport, is offered here as well.
Dental assistants too. I know we've, Friends in Need, we had a lot of dental assistants, and they're going to be working too with our dental school.
Absolutely.
That's
Sure are.
a good thing.
Other comments? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to create a Meadowview Task Force and approve task force appointments. Last month, Mayor Montgomery brought before the board the idea of the task force and the creation of which would look at a variety of things that would ultimately generate a report and bring back to this board. I appreciated the mayor doing that. When you look at the history of this property, that's how it began. When you look at many of the other projects that we have been able to be so successful with as a city, it has been through a tremendous amount of community input. So we will roll our sleeves up beginning next month and begin working on this. And so tonight we bring for you the list of names, which you see there in the executive summary. And we had asked that you approve the resolution establishing this task force. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving the creation of a Meadowview Task Force and approving appointments for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Mayor, I've got a question. I know the purposes are outlined on the action form, but as a part of the task force charge, will we be looking not only at long-term strategy for Meadowview, but also whether the subsidy model can be refined or reduced in the near term, potentially this year? I know the agreement's up in 2027, but is that part of the ask as well?
Yes, it is.
So as we go into budget process, we may be able to have some savings on what we're anticipating, hopefully.
But, you know, things that they're going to bring forth is help us with the 2027 deadline. So there could be, but hopefully we're still working on savings as we're going now.
I would hope that, you know, as we go into budget process for, so we're not putting it on the backs of the citizens to pay the subsidy, the large subsidy, but that we can find some model or we can find an agreement over the next year and a half until we get to that process that all parties can be amenable to help the city out, so we're not having such a large line share of the subsidy, or a large subsidy, so.
Yeah, and I will say that if there's anything that comes out over the next 6 months while this committee is working that we see has an opportunity to improve the bottom line, whether that's through sales, efficiencies, I can assure you, we will be putting those things in motion to do everything we can to ensure that the regional sales tax covers all the expenses for the projects that it is responsible for funding. A lot of what we will see come from this group will be valuable for us, and to your point, Alderman Baker, as we put these new agreements together, whatever they may be and whomever they may be with, in order to ensure this property is very successful for the next 30 years as we hit that 30-year mark not too long down the road.
I know we've been told that budget's going to be tight this year, and so I would hope that we're not just going to wait till 2027 to try to make some type of change. I would hope that partners would understand, you know, I know this is business, but it's also community. So I'll just make that comment.
Any other comments?
A lot of people feel like when we're talking about this, we're talking about the hotel and that the hotel is not performing well and that is not the situation. I mean, this is a lot on the convention side and the space with the city. And, you know, we have so many people staying at our hotels here that obviously we're in the process of building more hotels. And, you know, when you see the headlines, when people see just Meadowview and what we're talking about, a lot of people don't understand how much space is at convention space out there and what the city is trying to do. And I just want to clarify, the hotel itself is doing very well. We have a lot of people visiting here. We have a lot of people staying in all of our hotels. And, you know, a lot of this needs to look at how we're, you know, the world has changed. COVID changed a lot of things, and how we're utilizing the convention space and the meeting rooms and a lot of the rooms in that life changed after COVID. And life changed after this agreement came. And so this was a long-term agreement, and we have a lot of space, but it said a lot of convention space, meeting rooms, entertainment space is different now than what it was, and that's what this committee is really going to be focused at, how we can fill up that space and offset some of the costs for having it empty. But the hotel itself and Kingsport and tourism is doing very well. So I've heard around the community several comments just about, you know, is Meadowview closing? And they see it only as the hotel. Hotel's great. I mean, we're building more hotels. That should tell you a lot right there. So just clarify a little bit of, I think this is wonderful.
Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you.
Well, I think this is wonderful, a great group of people, and I think they will all bring a lot to the table. And to look at, as I said, the world has changed, and how this space is going to be used, these people will bring a lot to what we can do with that.
As I understand it, because the hotel is doing so well, our subsidy is higher.
Well, I'm grateful that there's citizens in Kingsport willing to serve and tackle this. It's a wicked problem. I think the way that I understand it is, we don't have a hotel problem. We've got convention space that the city subsidizes that is priced out of market and undersold. And we've got to realign those parameters somehow. So I'm looking forward to see what the task force works out.
Thank you. I also want to say thank you for those who raised their hand wanting to serve. We have a good problem with people wanting to do things here in Kingsport. Unfortunately, we can't put everybody on the committee that wants to be on the committee, but we have good folks all over, and I'm thankful that we have this group that said they would serve, and we have some good folks who are not going to be on this committee, but I'm sure that they can find their way to make comments to these committee members as well. Okay, any other comments? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, now move into the consent agenda. You have 5 items on the consent agenda. If you'd like any of those pulled for additional discussion, please let me know. First item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor's signature on the certification by state or local official of the Public Housing Authority plan's consistency with the consolidated plan. Second item is consideration of resolution to apply for and receive the Tennessee Arts Commission Partnership Grant for fiscal '27. Third item is consideration of resolution to apply for and receive the Tennessee Arts Commission Education Community Learning Grant for fiscal '27. Fourth item is consideration of resolution to submit a letter of support and commitment to the Office of Outdoor Recreation for a crosswalk at Warriors Pass State Park and authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents associated with this project. Fifth item is consideration of resolution approving the renewal of property insurance for city-owned buildings to Travelers Indemnity Company. Mayor, unless there is one item on here or more that we would like to pull off for further discussion, we'd ask that you approve the 5 items of the consent agenda as presented.
You have heard the reading of all 5 items on the consent agenda. I have a motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept all items on the consent agenda as presented.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all 5 items.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent agenda items are approved 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, now we move into communications first. I want to take the opportunity to wish this board a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It'll be mid-January before we get back together. It is not lost on us as city staff that you guys function essentially in the role of elected volunteers. And this past year, we asked a lot of your time, and we appreciate the fact that you all rose to the occasion. You took part in a lot of things, including our strategic plan and then working through a very challenging budget. I appreciate your support, appreciate the support you show our staff, and appreciate the love that you have for the city of Kingsport. Absent of that, a lot of the things that we've been able to do would have been extremely challenging, and we recognize that and we appreciate that. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Additionally, when we talk about Christmas in Kingsport and how this has grown, every great project, every great initiative has to have a great champion behind it. And Betsy and James, you both have been the champions behind that. And there's a tremendous amount of pride that has been building as a result within our city and within our employees. This morning, before 8 o'clock, Mayor and I had pulled into the parking lot, and there was a crew out relighting a tree here on Broad Street. And the reason they were doing that is because a fuse had blown. They tried to replace the fuse, and they couldn't. So before they began their day, before they went out and started providing a tremendous amount of services to our citizens, they were here putting that up. It was cold. It was hard work for them with the frost and getting the old lights down and the new lights up. But that's the pride they have and the desire to make downtown look good. And we often talk about the fact that it is like a Hallmark movie when you come downtown. You all have been very instrumental in doing that, and I really, really appreciate that, and I know our citizens and visitors do as well. So 2025 has been an outstanding year in local government. We often talk about 2 years. We have our fiscal year, and that's really where we talk more from the financial side and the upcoming budget and the previous budget, but then there's also the calendar year budget where we really have an opportunity to step back and reflect on many of the great things that we have been able to do. I say this often, and I know you all appreciate it as a board, and I know our staff appreciates it, but when we evaluate the things that we've been able to do as a city over the course of a year, often what we accomplish in a year, some cities are not able to do within a decade. And trust me when I tell you that. Having been in this profession for nearly 30 years and seeing the struggles and challenges other cities have, what we're able to do is pretty spectacular. That doesn't just happen. We don't just put something on the agenda for your approval. It takes a tremendous amount of time to bring it to this point. A lot of debate, a lot of conversation. You entrust your city staff and you entrust in me that we bring forward to you guys very well vetted projects, and we do so, and then collectively we move that project forward, whatever it may be. And this past year has yet again rung that bell, and we've been able to do a lot of great things. I know the Vice Mayor is going to hit on many of those, a lot of which encompasses the work that you all sit up here and do each and every night. So with that, to our city staff, Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor, tell us how well we did this year.
Well, I'll be more than glad to, just to kind of, the city manager set the stage for this, but, as with most organizations, you kind of have a major accomplishment list at the end of the year, and so sit back and relax on this one because it's going to take a second. But, so I'll go through this, and it's 2025 year in review, approved multiple rezonings, make the way for new business expansion, recreational opportunities, residential and civic uses, applied for $10,521,624 in grants for various city departments, successfully received $4,103,469, requiring only $143,811 in matching funds. Appropriated funding for the purchase of the dental clinic and design work for future phase build-out from funds received from state of Tennessee. Continued partnership with the Tennessee Main Street Program. Accepted the annual audit with no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. Approved the pilot agreements to facilitate new businesses and expand manufacturing operations within the city limits. Supported regional operations such as the effort to recruit additional airline services and the change for reappraisal cycle from 4 to 2 years. Approved multiple items related to the implementation of the new customer information system. Reorganized outstanding small businesses who were recipients of the Cosby Awards. Purchased over 30 pieces of equipment or vehicles necessary to maintain city operations at a high level of service. Entered into multiple materials agreements facilitating over 280 new residential units. Approved annexation making the way for 40 new single-family homes. Accepted donations of sculptures into the Public Arts Program. Awarded the bid for the library renovation that is currently under construction. Broke ground on the IMAX Theater. Awarded the bid for Base Mountain Park Otter Habitat Project. Graduated the second class of the Model City 101. Facilitated the Dobbins Taylor Warehouse Project, which will result in a 60-room boutique hotel with a full-service restaurant and event space in the downtown area. Purchased playground equipment for 2 schools. Awarded the bid for HVAC replacement at Washington Elementary. awarded project for the Department of Kingsport Area Long Range Transportation Plan, adopted the citywide strategic plan and facilitated the development of the comprehensive plan, established a local tax relief program, awarded bids for multiple paving projects throughout the city, executed subrecipient agreements and partner agency agreements for funding for services to provide to the citizens, recognized the retirement of Chief Dale Phipps and Chief Scott Boyd, participated in the nomination of Earl's Drug Store to the National Registry of Historic Places, continued agreements to facilitate the future of youth sports in the city, awarded multiple bids for continuing city operations, held the inaugural NFL flag football season, awarded agreement for the architectural and engineering services of the new elementary school in Lynn Garden, recognized Kingsport City Schools athletes and programs for outstanding performances throughout the season, paved 18 miles of city streets, replaced, installed 21,960 linear feet of water line and 9,454 linear feet of sewer line, completed the rebuild of Main Street, cut the ribbon on the Fox Den Playground at Bays Mountain, broke ground on the new Blue Cross Healthy Place at Netherland Inn Road, celebrated the 10th birthday of the Carousel, new route added to the Kingsport Area Transit Service, and selected artists for the 8th Annual Storm Drain Art Contest. And I agree with the city manager. This is a great list of projects that was completed this year, and any city around would be very envious. Thank you.
Give ourselves. Okay, with that, we'll ask Alderman Phillips.
Oh, I'm next, all right. Okay, I do have a few things, not as many as Daryl, though. So, just, Betsy's gonna talk about Christmas, I know, but I just want to plug, make sure you visit Christmas in Kingsport. There's a ton of events left. One of them that I have to mention is the Twilight Carousel rides, which are this Thursday night at the carousel. It's the last night of the nighttime rides. The carousel's all lit up. It's beautiful. I operate the carousel. I'm going on 5 times now without breaking it, so I'm doing a great job. And Landry is my supervisor. So, and we are also, I'll plug this, we're looking for a sponsor. If anyone would like to sponsor Thursday night, it would be great, because then it would be free rides for all the kids. So I'm scrounging around to try and find a sponsor for Thursday night. Just it's no big deal to pay $1 to ride, but
What's the amount you're looking for?
it's less than $500. All right, we have a sponsor. So I would like to make the announcement that we have free carousel rides Thursday night for the Twilight Ride. Thank you very much, Colette. That's awesome. That's going to be exciting. They broke a record last year when the last night was sponsored, so I think that'll be great this year. That's exciting. Makes me feel good. Also, I saw, so Daryl mentioned the airport, adding the flights. So I wanted to say, I saw today, we were told when we made this investment that it would not just bring the current flights, but there would be more flights that are coming. So we all got an email today that there's an announcement tomorrow that there's going to be something else. So we'll see. Maybe it's more flights. I don't know, but that would be awesome if the airport is continuing to expand. So it's a service announcement tomorrow. So hopefully that shows that it was a good investment. And then on a business note, so we had a presentation last night by AEP, and every year we go through and we have a water and sewer presentation, and we go through and look at our budget for other things. And I think it's always important to note that, you know, we mostly hear complaints, but when you sit back and look, as of, you know, with the numbers AEP has given us, we have the lowest electric rates in the region. We have the lowest water, some of the lowest water and sewer rates in the region. I think there may only be one lower than ours. And we have the lowest garbage rates in the region. So, you know, we are very financially responsible, and this is, the cost of living here is still very affordable. And I think previous boards and this board is, and the city manager and staff have done a great job at keeping that down, and so I think that's to be commended. And I think, let's see, this is probably my last meeting till February because the national championship football game is at our next meeting. And I anticipate that I will, be in Miami at the game. Playoff run starts this week, so hopefully by the time we get back, I'll have my national championship shirt on, but excited about that. And other than that, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and everybody have a great rest of the year.
Thursday at 10 o'clock is the air service announcement.
Thursday, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't read my email well then, so not tomorrow. Okay. Thursday. Thank you, sir. The rest of my stuff stands.
Okay. Alderman Baker.
Very impressive list. Will that be published on our website?
She'll email it to you.
Okay. Will it be put out for public, though, dissemination?
Yeah, we can put something out there. We, kind of a year in a review. We'll
Yeah,
do that.
really good list. James mentioned AEP came last night. I want to tell the city manager, thanks for having them come. A lot of good information. I get questions, the public, I think, because we have the franchise agreement with them, thinks that we regulate AEP. And I think that was a good presentation last night that we don't. We oversee in certain areas, but we do not regulate them. I say thanks to those that worked on the Christmas lights downtown. I've had a lot of people tell me how great they look. My wife we've drove down about 3 different times, and I'm going, it's the same lights we saw last time. She says, yeah, but we're still going to go again. So that creates excitement. And I want to say Merry Christmas also to my fellow board members and employees and volunteers and citizens, and hope everybody has a great Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Alderman George.
Thanks to everybody that did, you guys that really worked on Christmas in Kingsport, and Kingsport downtown does look beautiful. And it does definitely put you in the mood for Christmas, and I don't think I've heard one negative thing. And I've seen so many pictures of our different parks and lights and and Santa and the Grinch all over everything. So I know we have brought down a lot of our citizens and people visiting from other areas to our downtown. And one of my friends did ride on the Breeze flight that came in the other day on, the ribbon cutting, and said it was a great flight. Everybody was super, super nice. They were very excited about it. So excited to hear the new announcement. And really wanted to tell everybody Merry Christmas.
I definitely want to talk about Christmas in Kingsport, but before I do, I want to just remember the family of Bill Dudney. Bill Dudney passed away today, and he was a true leader in Kingsport, just and a good person, a great man, and a great, have a wonderful family. So just keep Bill's family, Janice. They were high school sweethearts, so they've been together a long time. So, in fact, Bill and Janice were on my husband and my first date. They're ones that got us together, kind of. So it's but just remember the Dudney family. But getting back to Christmas in Kingsport, this weekend is the last weekend for Lamplight Theater, the Candy Maker's Dream. It's a Victorian Christmas with Christmas carols. So I encourage everyone to go, if you're not in the Christmas spirit, go down there and either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and attend one of their performances. Also, Lamplight has a New Year's Eve gala that's very family-friendly and non-alcoholic, and so if you just want to have a good time and celebrate the coming of the new year, you can do that at Lamplight Theater. This Thursday is also Shop and Hop, I think, downtown. I think it's every Thursday. Is that right, or is it Friday? I think it's Thursday. Check.
Robin.
Yeah. Well, we'll check. You check the downtown Kingsport. But I think Thursday the stores downtown are open a little bit later so that you can enjoy the shopping in our downtown. You can stroll up and down the street. Everything looks wonderful. And I said today, as I saw the people that were recognized, that's just a small fraction of the people that participate to keep Kingsport looking like it does, for these 5 or 6 weeks. Like Chris said, people are putting lights out, changing lights. I've seen the snow. There's people working overtime to make it snow in our parks on the weekends. So, we're so fortunate to have such a pretty downtown. And this last weekend with the nativity around Church Circle, it's just a special place. Just the whole setting of downtown is just special. So everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you all next 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to thank you, Chris, for your comments, and I want to wish the board Merry Christmas, of course, and I appreciate each one of you allowing me to serve on the board. It's a really good board, and appreciate all your hard work and everything you do for the city, of course. I do want to point out one of my colleague, Alderman Baker, has achieved a PhD, which is phenomenal. And I think in anyone to make that milestone in education is pretty remarkable. So congratulations, and we'll refer to you as Dr. Baker from now on, I guess. So, but and I also want to highlight Mayor Montgomery and City Manager Chris McCart was at the Fire Department recognition dinner, and you all could have been there. I just couldn't see you. There was a huge crowd there. I think Fire Chief told me there was over 300 people there, and so it was packed out. But it was a wonderful night. I appreciate Chief DeBerry's leadership and Chris McCart's leadership in recognizing our fire department personnel, milestones they achieved over the last year. And I really appreciate the fire stations. I think they look great. As far as I can remember, I believe that's the first time, I could be wrong, I believe that's the first time that the fire department's gone all out on their stations this year. So, but again, Merry Christmas, and thank you for the privilege to serve.
Vice Mayor, you have any comments?
Yeah, just a couple. Thanks to Jessica Harmon for compiling that list of accomplishments. So hats off to her, and she will be emailing those out. And then I had also for Morris, congratulations on that, and prayers to the Dudney family as well. And James mentioned the carousel, but this Friday at the carousel, Santa will be there from 1 to 3, and I'm sure he's looking forward to that. It's a bunch of kids, and so that's always a big day. I think one year we had like 1,500 people down there. So
It's that Friday. It's the day kids get out of school. It's wild.
It is. It's a busy day, and and then finally, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody and their families. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I cannot overemphasize how available we are as board members to talk to the public. And before meetings, after meetings, and we're able to listen, talk, and debate at times those comments that come in. So the meetings that we have are public meetings, but it's meetings of the board for business consumption and business use. So I just thought I need to make that clear as we move forward here. I do too want to say I'm pleased to serve with each of you. It's truly a blessing, and I wish you each and your families a safe and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
No, that was it.
Let's